talented young man he is, and IB is certainly going places. Now, last year, we showed you our top 20 books for 2021. Now, while we have top 20 books every year, we also have heroes every year. And in 2021, we had quite a number of heroes on this show, but 3 of them stand out. And we will like to introduce them to you so that you appreciate why we consider them to be heroes. You know, on this show, our heroes are people who are promoting literature, who are giving us great literary works, who are inspiring people all over the world, who are doing fantastic things in terms of promoting a reading culture, promoting African stories, Nigerian stories, and just generally exciting us with their talents and their gifts. Now, get to meet our 3 heroes for 2021. 4 heroes, I should say, because one of them is 1 in 2. You'll get to understand what I mean by that. But let's get to meet our heroes on Channel's Book Club. Heroes for 2021.
Mia Torreira. For her internationally acclaimed series of comic books created to give African characters and values representation in the comic books world. Her comic book series is getting rave reviews and helping to influence thinking on race representation in the comic books genre. The Incredible I and ISA series have grown on many people around the world and have been Amazon bestsellers.
Even as a young child, I was always reading comic books, and I would read comics from anything ranging from Archie to Beano and Dandy to Japanese manga. I was really into manga at a young age, and I had this collection at home, and my mother would keep shouting, "What are you going to do with all these comic books?" And I remember one time coming home and she'd thrown away my comic book collection, and it's till today is one of the biggest regrets I had, because I thought, oh, all these comic books over the years that I've collected, I could have made so much money with so many rare editions. And my mother just, typical Nigerian mom, didn't understand and just threw it out. But the love of comics never died. It never died. And I just like the genre. And I find that it's very appealing to people who may not like to read traditional books. And young children in particular are really drawn to illustrations. The better the illustration, the more they like it. And the more they can understand the story, even if they can't quite read that well. So that really inspired me to start writing my own comics. After a lifetime of reading comics, going to comic book conventions, meeting people who'd been writing and drawing and creating all these years. So that's the story.
Dele and Louisa Olafuyi of Kunda Kids, for pioneering a series of children's books that tell African stories to the world. Kunda Kids, which was founded by Dele and Louisa in 2020 during the COVID-19 lockdown and has since sold over 7,000 books from its premier collection, Africa's Little Kings and Queens. Africa's Little Kings and Queens is a collection of 6 beautifully illustrated picture books inspired by some of ancient Africa's most influential leaders.
My wife and I founded Kunda Kids last year, and there was a point that we had the trigger, and it was really around when the old Black Lives Matter thing started, when George Floyd was murdered. That was because I spent a lot of time thinking, like, what can we do? What can we do? And my wife and I started talking, and we're like, let's see what we can do to inspire the next generation, right? Let's see if we can at least start helping kids to see themselves more in books, and that way they can grow up and build more self-confidence in themselves. So that was how the whole project started. That was the trigger for the whole book series. Now, looking at the books themselves, right, we decided to start with African history, because when you look at books generally, typically what you realize is you just have black books, but not so many writers on a global scale are pushing African stories. And African stories are not very commercial. But we know part of being African, storytelling is embedded in our culture. It's embedded in who we are as Africans. And that's what we want to do at Kunda Kids, bring the best of African stories to the world. Not just for black kids, for everybody, because we feel all kids need to have proper representation in their library. Your library is not complete if you don't have African stories in it.
Bioday Treasures allow me for leading a team to break the Guinness Book of World Record for the longest marathon read aloud for a team. They read for over 400 hours non-stop to set a new world record and in the process inspired millions of people. Bioday's team includes Mariam Abba Sadu, Zainab Wakil Mohammed from Borno State, Dobra Yeri from Bayelsa State, and Precious Light Tukachi from Imo State. Bioday Treasures Allow Me is from Ogun State.
Unfortunately, the awareness is far from being surrounded in Nigeria. I can still recall with heavy heart how I was told by the very top executive in Parasata in Nigeria that
I suggest the Torreira to take education from the class series. 1. Information on finance. 2. Health problems of old age. 3. Planning for retirement. 4. Planning for life of living.
The elderly are not a homogeneous group that can be treated the same way. Considering these factors, the conventional wisdom says that education, in whatever form, is a good thing for all, is being challenged.
Saving for retirement will never be true. The reasons that quickly come to mind for this very low number of respondents who saved for retirement are those meager income and lack of awareness.
It is very important that Nigerian workers realize why they have to make adequate preparations for retirement. It is also very important that the government provides some working guidelines in the form of policy decisions to directly design by adult educators of programs for retirement education. A few recommendations are presented below that will help to make the retiree of tomorrow better equipped for retirement than the retiree of today. The suggestions are: 1. Nigerian adult educators should raise the level of people's awareness of the need for retirement education. They can do this by using the mass media and other media in the community, such as occupational groups, personal departments of business and credit unions.
I hope you have had a good time with us on the show today. As always, we'll be delighted to get your feedback through any of our social media platforms displayed on your screen. My name is Olakunle Kasumo. Remember, one great book can change your life. Bye-bye.